Hey guys, what is up? It is Seatin here, hello and welcome to how to level your character from level 50 to 60 as fast as humanly possible. Now I've had quite a lot of requests for this guide, so I'm going to talk you through sort of the route that you go and how to do it in as much detail as I can. But before I start on that and get some people's hopes up on the leveling time, to level your character this fast, you will need an 160% vial, which were given out a couple of weeks ago as a cause for sort of the server inconvenience and chat problems. So pretty much a lot of people have them and they want to know how to use them at the moment, so this is what this video is for. If you weren't around for that or don't have the vials, what you can do is you can open the Rift store and purchase them via boosts. Now to purchase them, it will cost you a total of 2,700 credits, which is about 12 UK pounds or around $20. Now, if you think of it like this, it's kind of like a night out to the cinema, except you're not going to see a movie. You don't have to pay for popcorn, and you won't have some overly passionate couple behind you finger banging or getting some hand action. So it's actually a lot better than a movie, and I'd recommend this if you're sort of wondering what to do on a Friday or Saturday night. You're thinking of going out, just go, no, I'm going to get another character to level 60. So you are going to need three of these Transcendent Experience Vials, just as a heads up. Now, if you have Patron status, you will also get a 40% Experience Vial that you can use for a total of a 200% boost on your experience. Now, if you have both the 160% and 40%, that is a total of 200% increased experience. So that means this leveling guide or video is going to take you just over 4 hours. Now, if you don't have the patron and are only using the 160% vials, this is going to take you about 5 hours to do. Maybe a bit more, maybe a bit less, depending on sort of your capability of playing, etc. But I did it on my really sort of crappily geared warrior. Literally, I had no gear, I had no sigil, no enchants, no vials, nothing to sort of maximize my performance, and did it comfortably in just over 4 hours with a lot of slacking and sort of tabbing to look at the Rift forums. So yeah, it's fairly easy to do. So what you want to do is initially you will start off in either Sanctum or Meridian, one of your capitals, and then you want to speak to somebody called the Lycini Ambassador. Now he's going to ask you if you want to port to Brevane or Duscan, and you want to choose Brevane, which is the left continent. The way I always remember it is Duscan is sort of death and dark, and Ceratos and Morban are very dark areas with Regulos, etc. So that's the way I separate the two, and then I go, the other one must be Brevane if that's Duscan. So yeah, that's my little trick to remembering which one is which. So Duscan is the one on the left as well. Now you'll start off by porting into the Damien Loci, and there will be a story quest there. Now essentially for this guide, what you want to do, it is as simple as ignoring every other quest that's not marked a story quest. If it is not marked a story quest, apart from a couple of quests in Argent Domain, which I'll explain about later, you do not want to do it at all. Just completely ignore it. So the route that you will go is you'll start off around here, and then you will go over to Tullan, and then you'll have a few quests to do around here, which will get you running around the lower half of the map, and then there'll be a couple in the upper half of the map, and then you will finish the entire zone. I believe there's about sort of 20 story quests, and the last one is in the Anima Loci, where you fight this sort of plant monster-ish, and then you'll head up to City Core. Now, there are only a total of about, I believe it's 6 to 8 quests in City Core, which will rapidly take you through the zone, so you don't have much to do there, and the end city quest in City Core will be you running off the bridge into Eastern Holdings. When you get into Eastern Holdings, by this time you should be level 53 and almost level 54, then just follow the storyline quest, which will either take you to one of your bases, so either the South Wall Bunker if you're Defiant, or the Northern one if you are a Guardian. So yeah, just go that. Now the questing when you start in Eastern Holdings will slow down a bit, because the main thing that slows the questing down, the leveling process down, is actually killing mobs, and there are quite a few mob killing quests when you actually get into Eastern Holdings, like you have to train a scout while you fight 15 different mobs, and those ones are quite slow paced. But it's really worth sticking out, because when you get to the end of the Eastern Holdings, you go into the Fen Gorge Bunker, which has a quest line known as the Dream Hive, and this quest line alone, with 160% experience files on, will grant you 2 solid levels. It is like super awesome. I believe by the time I got to the Fen Gorge Bunker, I was just about to reach level 55, and then that almost power leveled me to sort of 57 by the time I finished with it. And those quests are really quick and really easy to do. So once you've done those quests, then you want to hop over to the Argent Domain. There's one thing I'd suggest you do, if you do have sort of the capacity to do that, is take a quick detour to Witch's Thicket when you port in, and kill the witch there. She'll grant a ton of XP and also her head, which you can exchange at the central quest hub, which is in the Turnus Riverbank. Now, in Argent Domain, the quest lines are fairly straightforward. You just have to go, you start off in Soros Estate, and then you go to Kasana Estate, and then a bit in Auditorium Karnos, and then finally you'll end up in the Temple of Fontic. Now, when you get to the Temple of Fontic, the story seems to drop dead when you talk to one of the priests. Now, it actually doesn't drop dead. The priest will give you 2 quests, which aren't marked as story, but are needed to progress through the storyline, so you want to ensure that you do both of these quests, or you won't be able to get any further, basically. So do both of those quests, and then you have a final quest to kill Brother Vance, and then you can progress onto Kingsward. Now, when you get to Kingsward, what you'll initially want to do is go to the Academy Porticulum, which is just this one that I've zoomed in on the mini-map now. There should be a quest giver there that will give you a couple of quests to infiltrate the Academy in disguise, and then you go to the Academy, get some quests that involve you listening to a bit of roleplay, and you'll get a ton of XP from those, and then they'll send you around various points on the map. Now, the first place they'll send you is Menagerie, if I said that right, and there will be 2 quests here. One that's picked up from a refugee camp. You want to ignore that quest, because it'll be something like Kill Bone Chewer. That's the quest that you want to ignore. Now, that quest involves killing a 2-man mob, which is around this sort of hive-ish area here, and you basically cannot solo him due to the mechanic he has where he lifts somebody and then crushes them if you can't interrupt him. So do not bother killing that mob, just focus on the quest that's sort of southern of the river, and then get straight back to the Academy. Now, after you've done that quest, then you have a quest to go to the Royal Gardens, and they'll send you around sort of a variety of localish places until you will end up back in the Crucible of Will, which is sort of the main hall and chamber of the Academy. So up on the top of that, on the top level, you will have a showdown against sort of a mutated Tefralon, I believe his name is. I can't remember his name off the top of my head, guys, but you'll know it because you'll have the crazy doctor from Imperium Core, if you recognize him, and basically you'll go to like the top level of this and then escape via the vine at the end of it. Now, once you've escaped via the vine area, then you'll want to head straight over as fast as you can to the armory, and you want to do a couple of quests here. Now, once you've done a couple of quests there, you will get a quest to go into the tower over here, so Tower of the Dawn. So if you're a Defiant, you'll go to the left, sort of up Path of the Princess, and that way. If you're a Guardian, you'll go up the right side and infiltrate it via the bridge. So there's 2 different paths, really. And then at the end of that, there'll be tons of quests killing commanders. And also you'll get a ton of XP from killing Savarola. And by the time you've done that, if you stuck to the story quests, you should be level 60. Now, my 160% vial, actually, I only used 2 of them, so it ran out sort of partway through Kingsward, so I was like 1 bar off by the time I had finished that Savarola quest. So literally I just had to quickly pop into Ashura after I'd finished, and then do like 3 of the story quests, and then I hit 60. So I managed to get there in just over 2 hours with you know, quite a bit of slacking on my behalf. Now, what I'd suggest is, before you do this, guys, one last point that I'd like to make. do your research on a good leveling spec. So for example, warriors, you have a variety of options. I actually use Tempest for this. Because I believe it just went so smoothly, and I know how to play Tempest very well. Other classes, you might, for example, rogues, I suggest the Grandpa Said and Knock You Out build, which I'll leave a link to. Clerics, you have the Storm Legion leveling guide, or you can always go sort of full Inquisitor and then put your sub points in either Justicar, Purifier, or some alternate soul. I'll suggest a few builds in sort of the description as well. Warriors, I'd suggest either Tempest or 61 Champion. Or 61 Riftblade. I mean, there isn't a lot of AoEing, so that's why I highly advocate sort of single target bursty specs just for doing the storylines. So that's my recommendation. And then finally for mages, 61 Harbinger is the way to go, guys. You could probably also do either Pyromancer or Elementalist, but 61 Harbinger, if you want to splash out, get the Storm Legion souls, that is the time to do so, because that will just be the fastest build by a landslide. Anyways, I hope that explained it fairly well, and if you have any questions at all, feel free to leave them in the comments below, and I will do my best to answer them. Yeah, so thank you for watching the video. As always, like, share, subscribe, tell a friend about it, post it on your MySpace, all that kind of stuff, guys. Thank you for watching, and take care.